Hi, I'm David Fleming from Disciples Ignited, a ministry that is focused on Jesus, advancing his kingdom, and preparing his disciples. Now, the series that you're watching right now, Bible Treasures, it has been started to help you memorize scripture. And this week we're memorizing and studying John chapter 8, verses 31 and 32. So let's get started today by looking at the entire passage from the NIV. We've already started memorizing John chapter 8, verse 31. So what I want you to do is see how much you can say from memory. John chapter 8, verse 31, and then going into 32. To the Jews who had believed him, Jesus said, "If you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples." Let me ask you, how'd you do? Well, if you need help, just look at the text on the PowerPoint slide, but let's try that again. To the Jews who had believed him, Jesus said, "If you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples." Now, what we're going to do is we're going to continue memorizing the rest of this. And by the end of this week, we're going to have this whole passage memorized with a great understanding of the revelation that Jesus is giving us in this passage. Today, we're going to look at what Jesus said about holding on to his teaching. What did Jesus mean? Well, the Greek word that the NIV translates as hold on to his teaching means to remain, to stay, to abide in. It's the same Greek word that is used in John chapter 15, verse 5, where Jesus tells us to abide in him. Let me read that to you in the English Standard Version. John chapter 15, verse 5. "I am the vine, you are the branches. He that abides in me and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing." So we see the parallel here. In John chapter 15, verse 5, we're told to abide in Jesus. And then Jesus tells us in John chapter 8, verses 31, that we are to abide in his truth, to hold on to it. So the teaching that Jesus is conveying to us is that when he reveals something to us from his word, he wants us to hold on to it. He wants us to abide in it, to ponder it, to meditate on it, and of course, to obey it. Now, why is this so important? Because the devil is going to try to steal it from you. That's what the devil does. And Jesus knows this. Jesus knows that the devil is a thief and a robber. That's why Jesus said in John chapter 10, verse 10, "The thief comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." And one of the ways that Jesus gives us abundant life is by showing us treasures in his word that he knows are going to help us out. But he also knows that when he gives us this treasure in his word, that the enemy is going to come and try to steal it. So you've got to hold on to it. That's what a true disciple does. They hold on to the treasures that Jesus reveals to them from his word. Now, before you go today, let's go over what we've memorized thus far. John chapter 8, verse 31. And if you can, do it all from memory. To the Jews who had believed him, Jesus said, "If you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples." Let me ask you, how'd you do? I bet you did good. Let's try that one more time. To the Jews who had believed him, Jesus said, "If you hold to my teaching, you are really my disciples." Now, join with me tomorrow, and we're going to start learning verse 32, and we're going to continue digging into some of the powerful revelations that we learn from this passage. So I'll see you tomorrow.